Well, we are back once again, episode 26 of Both Sides of the Line. We are becoming consistent as we're doing a weekly podcast, which we said we'd do. And we normally do it in 4 weeks in between, but we are week by week at this present time.
That's funny, Dazza.
Hello.
Hello, mate.
How are you?
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you, as always, which is good.
Yes.
What's going on? What's news?
Sun
what's
shining,
news?
birds singing, mate. I'm
beautiful.
feeling energized.
Yeah, it's Friday. I'm still feeling tired, and I feel I just need some days off. Yeah, all's well.
Yeah, all is well. All is well. I can't complain at all, really. Things are going swimmingly. Yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah, good. But apparently, there's been a bit of swearing this week. Kim Weimer has decided to give. We call it the swear jar.
Swear jar. It's a swear box.
Look
at that.
But it takes coins, and apparently. I don't have many coins, so it doesn't take notes. So I've got the FPOS machine, Kim. So we'll just swipe and go and tap. Maybe I might just put some credits on and use my account wisely.
Yeah.
But apparently,
Can you prepay?
So apologies on the swear jar. Not on the pot. We did swear once last week, but it's more.
We try not to.
But it's running in the office. So
sometimes we get a bit emotional, don't we?
We do. So
we're human beings.
Kimmy, thank you for your support.
Thanks,
and if it does get full, we'll donate to the soon to be launched, released, coming soon Century Room. Actually, before I say that is going to come. We're launching it, but
exciting.
We've finalised the name. There's some things happening behind the scene. We're going to wait, tick some boxes, explain the name, where it came from, the meaning to it. So yeah, just so you know what's going there. But
that's fantastic too.
So no swearing, because I got no money.
So you're
I only got my credit card. It's like it's no good. I got no credit card. I got nothing in. I'll ring Kaz. She's in the other office.
Poor Kaz.
Hey, let's start with something,
mate. Let's start with something because we want to continue on. Our last two podcasts have probably been hitting a bit of a theme here. So how about you kick us off with what we're talking about today, mate?
Let me think. I've been thinking a lot this week because a lot's happening. A lot of good, a lot of positive, but also I'm also doing a lot of reflection on what I'm seeing.
There's a lot of reflection, there's a lot of feedback from different channels, isn't there?
Yeah, it's huge. And to be fair, it feels like it's been non-stop, which is good. Feedback's good feedback.
Any feedback's good feedback, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, it has to be. How about we start this one? Don't want it if you're not prepared to work for it.
Yeah, I like that.
That can be the topic today.
Yeah, okay. So that can be applicable across anything that you want, that you're doing or you want to do. Sound right?
Spot on.
All right.
So maybe we'll just start off and we'll see where it leads.
Yep.
So maybe have you been saying that you want something so bad and you've never had the opportunity or never been given the opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I can categorically say, both professionally and personally. Yeah, definitely experienced that.
Just know when the opportunity does come, and that's what you've been crying for or being for so long. I'm not going to say you've used it as an excuse of why you haven't got to where you got to, but now it's presented itself.
Yep.
You've then got to work for it.
Correct.
I think that gets misunderstood.
Yeah. In what way?
I think when the opportunity comes, they think, oh, now what do I do?
Do I really want it? Or do you mean
it's real.
Yeah.
So now I've been using that as my leverage for the last X amount of time. Now I actually get what I've been saying is the reason why I'm not advancing or not getting to where I need to be because of X, Y, Z.
Yep. Getcha.
Well, I've just given it to you. Now what's your reason?
Yeah. Then
what do you think I mean by that?
So what are you saying?
I'm not being cryptic. I'm just trying to.
So you're saying this opportunity's come up that you've been putting out there that you want. It's come up, and now what? You're finding different excuses, or you're trying to sabotage that or undermine that, or
now it means that the process of moving forward is being a little bit contradictory because now you've got what you want. You're still not doing the things that you said you would do if you had this opportunity present itself.
Gotcha.
So, for example, if I say to you, Azza, you've been, we'll be training here. So it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be specific in teams or players. Just I'll be generic.
Yep.
Right, as you've been telling me right now, your coach hasn't allowed you to shoot the ball, dribble the ball. You've only been doing a certain role that's not really what you thought you'd be.
Yep.
And it's not giving you opportunity to develop. You've got a new coach now. They've said, fine. You have the green light. Take the shot. Take the dribble drive. Play the role of this, or play the game that you think you're good at, and show me what you're capable of. How you create, not wait. How you see the landscape or the vision of the game. I'm going to give you the license.
Yeah,
but then you still don't take the shot. Then you still don't take the dribble drive.
Well, whose responsibility is that?
Well, it's just as an example.
It's your own.
So
Because that's a controllable that you control.
Yeah. And then we use, now I get the word confidence, self. I get all that.
I get that.
Because now you're not really sure how to do it because you feel like you've never had that chance to do it. But I'm giving you the chance. So now, what's your comeback?
Yeah. Well, like I said before, you're responsible for you.
Yeah. And, I'm very both sides of the line here in a lot of things. I feel I understand the mental health. I get the background, and we go far in depth with that.
Yep.
But let's just push some of that aside and work, okay, you've now got what you've asked for.
Yep.
What's stopping you?
Only yourself and your confidence or where your own mindset's at. That's it.
So that's
why there's nothing else. You can't blame others. You can't blame others. It may be a little bit of the reason why, but you control you, isn't it? That's the message we want to put out.
All right. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So then let's go to another situation.
Yep.
I want to be on a board or a committee member.
Yep.
Because I don't think the club does what I think it should do. Not me personally, guys. I'm just saying as a generic example.
Yep.
So I joined the committee. Well, now you've got the position on the committee. You're not doing what you said you were going to do.
That's interesting. So you sound like every other politician in this country right now.
Yeah, I'm not saying it happens everywhere. Like, you know that, right? Yeah, spot on. I'm just putting it out there as a generic view.
Yeah,
please.
yeah. Okay. So you're saying you got this opportunity. Let's say you
to bring change.
Yeah.
To bring change.
You've advocated for. I would bring this. I'd stand for this. You get the opportunity. You join, and radio silence. Is that what you're saying?
Or you might sometimes think, I've seen this happen. I join it. If I can't beat the people in the committee, I might as well join them. So what you want,
can't
what you
beat them,
stand for.
join them. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand for my values because I was going to join them. I'll become part of them. Or maybe, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to put out there that you get the opportunity that you say you're going to do.
Yep.
Like I like to think that if I'm wrong, I'm okay to be wrong. If you gave me the opportunity, I'll take it. And I'll give it everything.
Yeah.
And then I'll learn from what I thought I could do to what I can't do and how I can become better at it.
Gotcha.
Is that fair?
All right. Yeah, fair.
I think that we should see more of that concept in more detail to see exactly from the point from wanting the dream or the goal or I want this to happen for me so I can become better at it.
Yep.
The opportunity presents itself. I like to say that the process of then what happens now, how they respond, how they react, how they commit.
That'd be a fascinating insight, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. It's a bit different. You haven't got the outcome. You've got what you wanted, but there's still no outcome because you still got to deliver.
Yep.
That's another process in itself.
Interesting to chronicle that sort of journey and the obstacles that you face or the roadblocks and how you can get people on side with you and how do you share your vision.
Yeah, and like how do you get people together? So whether a committee or a team, workforce as a team. How do I get the group working better together? How do we get the values to stand strong with each other? And how do we move forward together?
One step further. How do your values that you form in that committee or the head of flow down into your association club?
All right. So
coaches, leads, whatever it is. How does that work? And can I say, maybe we've touched on this before, I wouldn't say that it's across a lot of associations or clubs right now. I don't think there's a clear alignment there. Would that be fair in our observations and the feedback that we've had?
Yeah. I'll give it.
Not that we're whacking anyone specifically, but I just want to.
We're
highlighting it. We're aware of it. That's the feedback we're getting. It can't, it's not just one. It's multiple. So it can't be wrong.
It's becoming a common denominator.
Denominator. Yeah.
Denominator. I couldn't say that very well. And I do mumble, I'm tired. So if I mumble, I apologize. Now, the philosophy I've written about coaching. So use this as an example.
Yeah.
I just put it up now because it was the one I was reading before because I'm doing a PowerPoint. As a coach, I should help players learn to define themselves as individuals and as teammates, to understand each other's strengths and weaknesses, create belief in themselves and one another, and understand the true meaning of team. Create a culture they will stand by and commit to, and most importantly, discover how success and development can be measured in so many different ways. As a coach, I should understand their role and influence, guide, nurture, and develop in such a way that it builds players up and encourages them so they can duplicate this attitude, not only to themselves, but also their teammates. Most importantly, as a coach, I should inspire each member to achieve and understand that success only comes from devoting your time and effort to support each other and create an environment and culture that instills the motto, one for all and all for one. That's my personal philosophy. But just say, for example, or no, it's not an example, transition sports. If those coaches don't adhere to that philosophy,
there's a door.
There's no argument.
There's a door.
Yeah, there's no debate. So if I'm in a committee and I've written a mission, vision, value statement, or we'll say philosophy as an example, and I'm having issues with coaches, if they're not going by, if we wrote that as a club, so pretend the club's written that now, and we're having issues with anyone in the coaching ranks that aren't adhering to that philosophy,
there's a door.
It's a door, or it's a conversation first as you process, but you can either try and say, do you want to realign yourself to where we were and what we stand for?
Yeah. Do you agree to this? Or,
yeah.
And let's have that two-way conversation, that frank two-way conversation.
I'm not saying this philosophy is right. We got. I think
this is an example.
We've got to highlight a lot because some people, it's amazing how they'll misunderstand a message. It's just a highlight, it's just a concept.
Yeah.
So there's no argument. So if I'm in a committee, I'm not going to argue why coach A, B, and C aren't doing X, Y, Z because of what we wrote. There's no debate. So why we spend an hour and a half going back and forth, should we, shouldn't we? It's pretty simple.
What a waste of energy and time.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Pull them in. We open up the conversation.
Have the conversation.
Are you part of the values? Yep. Are you part of the standards we adhere to? If not, we love you. We appreciate your time, but maybe you're not the best fit for us.
Boom.
Committee member. If we have a committee member, which I've written a philosophy for.
Yeah.
If we don't adhere to those standards and one of us is out of alignment, we got to say that committee member, if you're no longer part of the values and standards that we wrote as a collective club and a committee team, maybe it's your time's up for the committee.
Yeah, 100%.
But we don't follow standards.
No.
We don't write the old MVV, mission, vision, values. They always say in business, if you ever get stuck on where you're heading or what you're doing or what you need to do, go back to the MVV. It brings you back to your purpose, the outcome, and direction.
And then you have that alignment from top down,
spot on,
so to speak.
Yep.
Well, it seems like a no-brainer, but why don't we do it?
Well, that's
as a general.
I don't know why. I mean, I have my own personal thoughts, and I probably am up front about how I feel about things. But sometimes I just think that people don't care about the values and alignment.
Own gain.
They're just there because they got purpose, and it's personal.
Skin in the game in a different level.
Yeah, skin in the game.
Reason.
Then,
but
then there's no point in having a committee philosophy, a coaching philosophy, and a player philosophy, and none of them align.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when you have fractured club, you have people disenchanted, people leave, the retention's not there, blah, blah, blah. And at the moment, you could argue across our sport, basketball at the moment, that's players migrating. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
From club to club, yearly, like it's as high as it's ever been. Is that because it's more competitive? There's more clubs you could choose from now, or more clubs around certain areas? But even so, there's a specific reason why people leave.
So, okay, let's talk about football. Just a quick, I think it's a good example.
AFL or what level
local level.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about.
So, majority of young kids will play in their local area. So, if you're from Point Cook, you know you play for Point Cook.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
The ones who go out far, it's probably there's other reasons why, but
friends and schoolmates, whatnot.
Yeah, so you play Altona. You're from Yarraville, you play Yarraville. Or what's the closest proximity? You won't travel an hour away as a junior to normally play football.
Correct.
Unless it's a development platform.
Or country.
Yep. But with basketball, a lot of people will go past 14 stadiums.
14. Did you say 14?
14 stadiums to get to the 15th to play there because I don't have the other 14. No, I'm joking.
But yeah, that's what you're saying.
I like to amplify the example. So I drive past a stadium every day of my life. It's 2 minutes around the road. But I'll refuse to be part of that club. There's reasons why.
Yeah.
Stays there.
Yeah.
But there's reasons, okay? So I'm not saying I've done it.
Yeah.
I've gone to different clubs. I get it. There's reasons why. But it's just amazing that we're not so into our community local area where we all become the local talent.
That's gone.
It's gone.
I think that's gone. I think that real sense of community is gone. I remember, I might be going back a little bit now.
In your day.
Back in my day.
Horse and cart.
What used to happen was, because I played my junior basketball with Werribee, or now Wyndham, they used to run there used to be a festival, the Warama
Festival.
The club used to represent at that.
I played in the first. I've played in the first Warama tournament.
Yeah, that was a thing, right? That sense of community is gone. They may still do it. Sorry, I'm happy to be correct if it still gets done, but I don't think it does. Like that whole sense of community engagement, that's no longer.
Well, that's why I feel for Ballarat, because then they did the Nunawading tournament on the same weekend.
Yeah,
Ballarat was
they've lost.
Ballarat was a big. There was that. The
locals
would play there, but now everyone's going far and beyond, and now you're playing in a tournament that's at Nunawading, but you're playing at Kilsyth for a game in a Nunawading tournament.
Yeah,
you're playing at Sandringham in a Nunawading tournament. Well, if you went to Ballarat tournament, you played in Ballarat.
You did. Same with Bendigo.
If you played in the Warama Festival, you played at Werribee.
Yeah.
Same stadium.
Schools and all that. There's a real good community feel about it, wasn't there?
Yeah. So now we travel so far and wide.
Why?
That doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, that's why the sense of community and values and the belonging it seems to be a bit blurred right now.
Yeah, it's pretty hard that, we're trying to build a platform or program for kids that may not be there for more than 12 months.
Yeah. And that makes it incredibly difficult for continuity of your program, your values. Well, just so much high turnover.
It's like we discussed, I'm going to develop a kid who's they're 12, we're a club, we're developing them, fine. But then when they're 16, they decide to go somewhere else. So you invested 4 years, or maybe you didn't. Maybe they felt that they were an uninvested member.
Mm-hmm.
There's different ways you can discuss this.
Yep.
But I'd like to know why there's so much movement now, and why we haven't woken up to why there's so much movement.
No one asked the question.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. We're chasing something else, or we're promising from someone else. For example, as a club where someone says, "Oh, come over to us," that person's not there anymore. So now they've travelled far and wide.
Now I'm gone. What?
Yeah, they're gone.
So you'd be a bit dirty on that, wouldn't you? I'd bet you. Anyway.
Yeah, but I'm getting that. That's just So why don't we get it? Say, let's build the local. If we do it well, others will come. It's good that people. It's good that people join your program. It's not you're chasing them and promising them just to make your program something that it wasn't.
Correct.
But if you can build your program and do everything right by your program, people will come anyway. But a lot of people are building their program based on talent.
Build it and he will come.
Yeah. Yeah, well, exactly. There's no point in me saying, okay, let's get the so-called 10 great coaches.
No,
let's get the 20 best players and say, hey, we're a club that's developing. You're not developing.
It doesn't work like that.
You're skimming, cheating the system.
Yeah.
So the values, so that's why there's community values in that. That's why they're hard to align, because who are they actually for?
Develop your coaches too. Sorry, I know we talk about, but harp on the player's perspective, but develop your coaches too. Keep that sense of community there.
Well, the coaches are going to want to develop too. Also, a lot of opportunity.
Look, a lot of it, I agree. And I'll talk from my own perspective that I'm responsible for my own development, but sometimes as well, to feel valued and wanted as a coach, you just want to feel like what you believe in or the way in which you want to coach aligns to your club association. You know what I mean?
There's a topic of conversation there. So I would first of all say, before we go into, I can understand what you're about to say.
Yep.
Is there's a lot of coaching opportunities that have been offered by clubs to coaches who don't take up the offer.
Yes.
So we say we want more development, but we don't take on the development.
Yep.
I'm one of those coaches that I've been at clubs that have been offered free workshops, not being arrogant, but because I'm already, I'm running a private school, a public school, I'm running X amount of kids here. Mm-hmm. I run workshops myself. I'm learning myself on what we do here. So I feel as if I appreciate the workshops.
Yep.
But I'm already fully committed and invested on developing myself. And I'm proving that I'm putting the work in.
Yep.
So because I have a full-time job, I'm actually in the basketball world. That's my platform. I'm always trying to create a better version of myself by doing what I need to do.
Yep.
I say life learnings from kids that come in, coaches workshops, team workshops. I do a lot of that.
Yep.
So I feel as if I learn from that. So that's my learning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, gotcha.
So I'll say that, not being arrogant, not that I have time, but I think I'm doing that anyway.
Yeah, you would be learning. Of course. 100%. Gotcha.
But then what you're about to say, I'm presuming, as an example, is then you might say, yeah, but I want to, but I don't feel valued to invest my time because I don't feel that it's worthwhile the value. Is that right?
Yeah.
Go tell me what
I was going to say, like, you become disenfranchised a little bit because you go, I love it. My values don't sort of align to yours. So why the whole why should I invest so much of myself in this environment for you? You know what I mean? So it's sort of, what's in it for me if I help you? There's always that element there, and you don't want to cut your nose off to spite your face, but that's just a natural way to think and feel, I think, for a lot of people.
So what are your thoughts, me just being a devil's advocate?
Play devil's advocate, both sides of the line.
Let's put this in an example. So I run a certain basketball club. I'll say, as I go to, nothing against Big V either, go to a Basketball Victoria workshop. Now, what our philosophies and values have been for the last 2 years, for example, you then gone to a Big V or whatever workshop, and it's different.
Does it mean it's wrong?
No.
Correct.
But you come back confused. Because what is right and wrong? Do I stand by what the club has been? Now it's different to what they say. How do I know which way to take my coaching? See, it gets confusing.
Yeah, but I think a level of maturity's got to be to sit down and have this conversation. Hey, I went to this. This is sort of this is some of the content or some of the stuff that was, that went on there. Does this align? Can we incorporate that sort of thing? You got to have that conversation, don't you?
I get that. But if 30 coaches go to this workshop and have 30 different variations, it's a lot of conversation. So my theory would be, why wouldn't you get a Big V to say, hey, can you come do a club one? For club coaches only of this club. We're going to tell you what our standards and values are. I want you to work out how we're going to incorporate a package that doesn't confuse our 30 coaches in the club.
That doesn't happen.
But get what I'm getting at now. Why don't we run the more? This is based on our values and philosophies. X and O is different. I think you should be able to run your X and O's. We should have a concept that the club all has to understand that, if we need to bring a player up or tries, we've got the concepts. How you set your on balls or how you do your defensive stance is based on structure. Do we go under, go over? It's all different ways of doing it. But if you've got a key component that's just sort of common, the coach has the right to have their variations in how they coach the X and O's, right or wrong.
Yeah, correct. Right.
So that's why these workshops have got to implement that, guys, have your creativity or your allowance of what you think you can do for the betterment of your players, yourself, and the future of the club.
Yep. But
we still have to maintain, we stand by the core values of what the club stands for, which means you don't have arrogant coaching.
Yep.
You don't isolate players.
Yep.
You don't make yourself look good because you've got 3 good players and forget about the other 7.
Yep.
You don't do that's the values I'm talking about.
Correct.
There's a lot of those workshops going around.
No.
What other workshops?
Maybe every now and then, but I couldn't say it's consistent enough to then encourage that level of learning.
So then how?
So you know what I mean? So that passing on of skills and values or concepts or whatnot. There's not enough of that, I would say.
All right, so I'll read this one too. This is what I wrote. If I was a committee member. Yep. So I wrote this. As a committee member, the game is not about me. It's about the kids. Agree with that?
That's a great first line, isn't it?
We want to provide a positive and safe environment and encourage the kids to enjoy the game, learn about the game, and learn about themselves. We want them to develop an understanding of the value of being part of a team and working for a team. We want to identify and create a development platform that engages a personalized learning approach that follows the motto, if they can't learn the way we teach, we shall teach the way they learn, which in turn should support devoting time and effort to each other by building respectful relationships and calibrating to achieve growth for all members, which is highlighted, within a team and club environment. The game is way more than just about the X and O's. It's about developing an individual, creating a culture, exposing people to opportunities, inspiring and encouraging people to strive to be better, motivating people to stimulate a dream or vision, not just for themselves, but also for others. And most importantly, a positive outlet and environment for people to enjoy away from the stress, pressure, and commitments of everyday life.
Gotcha.
So if I just say, okay, let's incorporate the key membership, the coaching philosophy, the committee, not membership, philosophy, and we start doing workshops, we can start to marry and merge. And I'm pretty confident it will give people a clearer understanding of what we stand for.
Correct.
And what we should adhere to for the betterment of all involved.
Correct.
Do we do enough of that?
Feedback tells us no. Why?
Is it time?
I don't know. I probably don't.
Are we time, Paul? No, seriously. I'm going to put that one out there.
When you say we, just generally, we know we are. We know we are.
All right, so
that's an issue across all the community right now.
So
time, Paul.
At local level with domestic, we're volunteers. At the rep level, there are people who are paid to do their job.
There are.
And it's becoming more and more known.
Yep.
But also because basketball is so hugely, it's such a huge commitment.
Rep
is all year round.
Yeah.
Domestics all year round. And you're doing well in between that. You're doing all the extras on top of that.
Is it time to tweak it?
Yes.
Is it time? Because like you said, it's all year round. Such a big commitment. I get that. And this is probably why we've lost a bit of core value about what we're about as a basketball community right now. Maybe in this state, maybe nationwide. I don't know. I can't speak for the other states. But you don't have that 3-month break where clubs can sit down, reset, and realign again. It just rolls. Rolls and it goes further and further. The issues that were there 6 months ago just exacerbate a bit. You know what I mean?
Correct. So one thing, it's a key positive. Not that COVID-19 is a positive, but if you want to look at what COVID did, it was a lot of positive in a lot of ways. It can reconnect the family.
Absolutely.
Negatively, it probably broke some families.
Absolutely.
Which I'm sorry that I've heard a lot of that.
Yep.
Some people got stuck in a rut. I get that.
Yep.
But if you look at other ways, so basketball did not have grading phase 1 in November, December, which means they were able to run a grading phase concept, still get the season to start without the months of November and December. What's that telling you? It can be what?
It can be done, and we can be we can be better managing our time.
So let's look at this. So years and years ago, some under 14 boys, we won the state championship.
Yep.
Played the game Friday night, which the teams didn't make it. We're rehabbing, who made the nationals. We recovered Saturday, which means we limped through that. So we went through all the grading phase. I got to the last grading phase, so which means we didn't even get the breaks in between the 4 or 5 breaks matches, which wasn't such a negative, but they never got that break. We played the Friday night final. Didn't really get to embrace it, so we had a few beers here, and the kids didn't celebrate transition. We come back here.
Hope the kids weren't drinking beers.
No, they weren't drinking beers. They'll get me the beers. No, we flew out on the Sunday morning for our first game Monday for nationals. Flew back Saturday for first try at Sunday. Oof. But there's teams doing that. No one's resting. Community members aren't getting a chance to breathe. They're worried about putting kids back on the
court straight away. We're
in restructure mode. We're in numbers mode. We're in administration mode. Wouldn't we say that we could easily run what we run, how we run it in 10 months of the year? Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
So less, because you take away school holidays.
Yeah.
10 months of the year, give it 2-month break.
Yeah.
And just let the body and the mind
for athletes, but
reset.
Our clubs and committee people and people that hold positions in clubs need that time too.
Okay, isn't that is accountability? They beg for that. They cry for that. Why is no one fighting for that? I've not heard a fight once of
we need a break. Because this is the way we've always done it. That's the old argument.
But we just proved in 2020,
21. Yep.
We just did something that wasn't the norm.
Yep.
And achieved season start with a grading phase. It was still pretty intense.
Yep.
I went through the pool of the crossover, the pool, the crossover. All we lost was, I think, 1 crossover, or maybe 2. Mm-hmm. But I still think all the teams ended up
where they should be. Correct. You can't say teams didn't end up completely where they should be.
So this is when, if you've got an opportunity, so sometimes instead of saying, I want the opportunity, fight for the opportunity. So part is, if you want it, you get it.
Getcha.
Work for it.
Getcha.
If you want something, don't say I want it. Don't say, I wish I had that. Well, guess what? Fight for it.
Yep.
Challenge yourself to try and achieve it.
Yeah.
I don't think we challenge ourselves to achieve something because we want something but aren't prepared to go the hard or extreme. And I was going, I don't want to use the word sacrifice because I think after Anzac Day, a week after Anzac Day, I struggle with the word sacrifice.
Yeah, that's a fair call.
It kills me, mate. I don't get it. It is, we do make sacrifice in life.
Not the ultimate. We don't make the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, so I always struggle. About a week or two, I find it hard to use that word. And then I move on. I shouldn't, but it becomes more back part to the norm. So that's what I'm saying is, if we think it's for the best interest, why aren't we trying to say we protect the kids, the coaches, the community members, and to give them 2 months off, we give them a chance to breathe, not be so exhausted, not be running on empty and fumes of a fuel tank. We're not managing ourselves, and we wonder why mental health is at its extreme. That's just in basketball. That's a commitment in basketball.
What's the underlying factor of it all, you think?
Oh, to be fair, I just don't understand because it can't be about the money. You got the same amount. Yeah, but you got the same.
But it is.
Yeah, but you got the same amount of grain. You still got the same amount of games.
If people walk through the door 12 months of the year That's money. Boom. That's the underlying factor of it all.
Well, you know what?
Both
It's coming at a cost.
Mm-hmm. Especially coming out of a year, lockdowns, pandemic, those mental health issues are exacerbated.
And if you're not mentally strong, if you're mentally struggling, if you're mentally struggling, you'll physically struggle, and then you'll socially struggle.
Yeah. Those three elements, isn't it?
That's fact.
Yep. Those three elements. Absolutely. They're intertwined with each other.
Let's just get on call. Let's just go full power again and just try and work out a blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
I like to see whether we say, you know what, let's just get a group or a club, whatever, and say, you know what, stop.
Why don't the clubs get together and just actually talk to each? Maybe they do. I don't. I've never been at a committee level, so I'm just. If I'm wrong, please correct me. You might know better than I do.
Oh, to be fair, I would know.
Why don't clubs within vicinity of each other? So, for example, Keilor, Hume. Who else is around that area?
People are scared of shit.
I don't know. Along that sort of northern belt there. Why don't they get together at end of season or during the season and, I don't know, talk about where their clubs are at and maybe what they're seeing across their clubs just in general. Don't have to talk specifically about players, just the themes, the concepts. What are they seeing to help each other out?
And maybe they do.
Maybe that, yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they have these board meetings that we don't know about where all the dress coaching meet up and I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I could see
the value in it.
Yeah, but on a logical outside thinker, you'd think that some clubs, I'm not going to share my information with anyone.
Oh, I'm sure there's that element.
It's not that mentality. So we're not.
I'm not talking X's and O's. I'm just talking just general.
Are we? Are we worried? Are we so worried about now that we're not even going to share the information? If you've got something good going on now, share it with me, and I'll implement it. Vice versa.
I think there's that element. I know we as coaches, we don't do it very well.
This is my system.
Mm-hmm. That's the way I do.
That's my little unique way of doing things.
I'm not going to share that.
Yeah,
that's mine.
That's mine.
That's my X factor.
Yeah.
That's my something over you.
Yeah. If I do something well, I'm happy to share it. Now, if it's not so well for you, that's okay. But I'm happy to share what works for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I say it's going to guarantee work for you. But hey, it works for me. Hey, yes, look at this. This is what I do.
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. I'll get lost with that.
Does that then lead to? Let's say if we got to that state, right? Does that mean we appreciate each other more?
You say again?
Would that mean we would appreciate each other more
if we connected? Mm-hmm. What word did we use last week, mate? Connected. So if we connected,
a bit of appreciation, gratitude.
You get a better network and a library of information. So where does the library come from? The old book that doesn't exist.
Comes from the internet.
Yeah, but even
Coach's
the internet,
clipboard.
So I said I like the anime version. So if I get on the internet right now, I'm reading generic information.
Mm-hmm.
It's in writing, but I can't see the proof of what they did or the reasons why. The best thing for me is, as that you wrote an article, for example, last week on certain thing worked well. I read it, but I don't feel it. But if I say, Azza, can you explain what you mean? And we had this conversation, I'll feel it. And then what we'll do, we start to bounce ideas.
Yep.
If I read it, I'm only hearing that version,
but
it's not giving me a chance to connect into your article to try and bounce my ways of thinking within that article.
Gotcha.
But if we sat down and shared information, brainstorm on a blank canvas, you give me that article again.
Yep.
I'll then be able to dissect in certain ways, and then I can get my little piece of it out of it, and I've just got my library of information from you.
Boom. And what else are you doing in the process? You're connecting.
And I'm not worried about you being my conflicts.
Correct.
Which transition sports, I'm sorry if I'm a conflict to the clubs. I'm so sorry that you feel that we're a conflict. We are not a conflict. We are a platform that wants to engage kids and the community for the benefit of each other and within a group environment, which will then hopefully help them adapt into a club environment.
That's pretty
I apologize. That's a conflict. That's my apologies.
It's a pretty simple concept. Yes. There you go, mate.
So
any other thoughts on this?
No, not really. What's the positive? What's something we can change the whole conversation now? What's positive going on right now, do you think? That's a really strong vibe to feel excited about and energized about. Or is there nothing?
Look, I'm positive. Are you talking about me personally or just noticing across the basketball landscape?
It's blank canvas. Blank canvas.
I think a lot of people are hurting at the moment.
That's my concern, mate.
I'm sorry.
It's my concern.
Like there's pockets of goodness. Don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. There's pockets of goodness. There's people that are thriving and doing really well. And it's great that we embrace that and they embrace that. But I've noticed as a coach, there's pockets, there's people hurting. Players, parents, officials hurting.
I'll say,
I just want to stress that we just got to be really considerate in the way we approach and interact with people right now. Be very open-minded and just check in on each other. I can't stress that enough at the moment. I can't be more specific. I don't want to be more specific, but yeah, I really feel that right now. I really feel that across our general coaching and basketball community and even school communities and adult community. Yeah.
We need a project. Stop and recalibrate.
Stop and recalibrate. People will say we've had a year off in lockdown.
We didn't have a year off. That's a debate in itself, right? I'll be the devil here.
Yeah. Both sides.
So me with business, right? I didn't have a year off. I had a year of absolute stress and worries that my mind did not stop for a year. And then I come out of COVID, start to rebuild what I need to rebuild and try and maintain engagement and inspiration for these kids we try and work with. Then they shut us down again. It's the unknown of survival of what if. Even now, I'm still in the what if. I'm a lot better than where I was, but I haven't had a break.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't had a year off.
Yep.
I've had a break. And I know right now in my voice, I need a break. I need a reset to recalibrate because now I know there's less of the what if.
Gotcha.
I can now rest.
You understand the new landscape a little bit.
And so I can adapt now by resting, recalibrating, saying now you know where we're at.
Yep.
There's no more of the what ifs and blah. We're in a bit more of a better situation.
Yep.
The landscape's looking a little bit more clearer. The storm's passed.
Yep.
Still lingering. So it's a stop. So I'm going to put out there, and this, I don't want to come across wrong. I'm struggling to enjoy coaching. I love coaching. I love what I get out of it. But I think I'm struggling because I don't think I'm either losing focus or the passion because I'm so emotionally drained by what I see day in, day out.
Well, that would be understandable. That would be a contributing factor.
This phone, if you saw the calls are coming and the messages are coming and the emails and the sit-downs and chats we're having, I'm struggling to enjoy it for the way I want to enjoy it. It just feels like it's a battle that we got to try and fight through. But when you're in a battle, right, you need as many people around each other to get through the fight. We have small little pussies, mate, little pockets.
Yeah. And that's what makes it so energy sapping and so emotionally challenging.
Yeah. Sapping. Let's look at Gallipoli, right? I watched the season of Gallipoli the other day. I said, Dad, watch Gallipoli. It gave me the true I love the war stuff. But this Gallipoli series that's on Netflix, I think it's the first time I got to see it from a different perspective. How they actually connected, the Turks and the Aussies.
Yeah.
How they actually engaged when they were at a bit of a standstill to pass time.
Mm-hmm.
But also, when you're in a battle, you stand together. You fight together. Whether it's right or wrong, you're in the fight together. But I just feel there's not a lot of togetherness, and I'm struggling with that.
People say that's a live or die situation.
Absolutely. But right now, we're talking about a situation that people are predominantly potentially may not survive this.
Okay.
They may succumb to this. We are talking about life and fucking death. That's a swear, I apologize. Because kids are succumbing to it. Parents are succumbing to it. We're losing the battle mentally, then physically. Then we're losing the connection. We're losing the engagement. We're losing the passion. That's what I'm seeing a lot of.
Okay.
People still want to be in the fight, but they're losing the energy and the strength to fight through this. I'm not comparing it to Gallipoli. That's not my point. All I'm trying to say is that we need to do this together.
Yeah, I get you now. Yeah.
Does that sort of make sense, or was that wrong?
That makes sense. No, that makes sense.
So I'm struggling, and I'm emotionally drained. I'm tired, and I feel as if the best version of me, hopefully, isn't coming across wrong when I'm actually coaching.
Yeah. But you're feeling that burden of
coaching. And then I think
a lot of people are.
But then I'm challenging. Well, what is a true want? Is it when do we say enough's enough? Is that an excuse? Is that really confidence? And then you're starting to really balance and mess with your head, going, which one's which?
So you need that pause and
reset, recalibrate, breathe, get the oxygens back in the body. Just get some time that don't have to overthink.
Perspective.
And sleep.
Sleep.
I don't know. Sleeping's killed me.
Yeah.
But I'm in the business sector. Doesn't mean that a lot of families going through that in being business, but we've been pretty fucking amplified because we don't know. I swore again, sorry. That's probably when I'm tired and emotional. That really means a lot to me.
Yeah, I get you.
Sorry about my swearing.
That's all right.
Kim must have known. Thanks, Kim.
He's coming on this week.
Does it sort of, do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do I love the kids I coach? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I love their, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm struggling to enjoy the passion because it's actually, maybe I'm succumbing to the battle. And I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
I'm a fighter. Don't worry about that. So I don't know. I just need to reset and recalibrate.
Hopefully we get to that point soon.
All right.
In your communities, if you can, try and do it. That's probably the message I've got.
No, spot on. Anything else?
Are we going to sign off? I've got two things.
Well, we're not signing off. So guess what? The answer is we have two things, which will probably be three things. And by the time we finish that, it'll be five things.
Okay.
Azza, let's go through the points.
If you have, I'm going to actually name Basketball Victoria here. If you have,
we're going to get sued for this.
We could.
If you're
going to have state tryouts,
yeah,
and it runs over so many weekends, and you demand the commitment of athletes and parents for, it can be full days. There's travel involved, and if you get to the last combine and you get cut, I'm not disputing decisions. I'm disputing the feedback that's given, because I can categorically say there's been not enough feedback given, and it is going to really destroy at the moment. Not destroy may be a strong word, but it's going to really have a big impact on kids' mental development and psyche at the moment. Now, these athletes, I'll even go a step further, are involved in these much vaunted state programs, state development programs and whatnot. And you're telling me if they get to the last combine and don't make the team, that's fine. But you're not going to give them feedback. You're not even going to give their SDP coaches where they work out of these satellite venues feedback for these athletes. What's the point of it? I cannot be more serious about this. This is a big issue. I'm all for state programs, state developments, forming a team that's going to go to national. I absolutely get the concept, and we love it. It's been around for many, many, many years, and so many great athletes come out of it. But we're talking under 16s right now and under 18s that have just gone. If you're not going to give feedback to these athletes that could be future boomers, future whatever it is, so important to the future of basketball in this state or country, there's something seriously wrong right now. And you deserve to have a good look at yourselves.
Can I give you an example? We'll go with that one. So that's not just now. That's always been that way, right? As far as I know. So I'll give you an example. I can't say names.
No.
Because it's very close to my heart.
But it's a disgrace.
What is the EC designed for at under 16s? What's your understanding of the ECC? They find the top 20 in the state, take 2 teams in January to ECC to try and find the final cut of the 20. Do you agree?
It's meant to work that way.
No, that's what people think. So you pay to go to Sydney. You all invest your time and effort to get to Sydney because you now know those kids and the family think their kids are in the top what? 20. So now the simplicity of this is just find your top 10 or 12. Yep. Right or wrong? No communication on this one. This happened years ago, and I've seen it.
Yep.
And I saw what it did to players. They came back from ECC with no reasons why. We're going to do tries again.
Wow, I didn't know that happened.
And cut some of those kids at 30, between 45 and 30 with no explanation why. You've done the top 20 in the state. But then big names come in, surnames. So they want to be part of the program. And then I saw kids get left in the lurch on their own going, what just happened to me? When 1 minute I'm on the top 20, I committed, I put my time and effort in January to do the ECC.
Now I'm
in no man's land. But I'm part of the NITP.
A disgrace.
And if I'm part of the NITP, I'm in the top 20 at that time, or 24, whatever. I'm in the top 20 of the program.
Yeah. No, it's so I get the concept. It's a joke the way those that just, for whatever reason, miss out. I get that. We're all coaches. We all make hard cuts and calls, even at rep level, year in, year out. But to have these athletes involved in what's meant to be your feeder program, walk away from it without any feedback, it's a disgrace.
And this is where we're at the highest performance program for the state, which means we should be more professional in that program.
Correct.
To really, truly understand what connection means.
And then, look, if you're going to say you're under-resourced, then that's an absolute bullshit excuse cop-out. That's an absolute cop-out. I don't buy that. That should not be an excuse.
Maybe they're under-resourced because people don't understand the values.
Non-excuse. Non-excuse. So that's one.
I'll give you an example about Bath Victoria. A state team trained here once. Someone put on Facebook, "Oh, it's great." They said, "We don't support you training at a private venue."
What? Jesus Christ. Look, I've probably opened a can of worms here. I've probably opened old wounds, even for yourself. But if people are listening, please, this is not a personal go. Maybe for some it is, but for goodness sakes, if we're going to have this program, please honor it and give it the respect that it deserves for those that are a part of it, okay? Because 15-year-olds, they need feedback. 15, 17-year-olds, whatever it is, you should be getting feedback.
Yeah, but
it's a disgrace.
But to be fair, now we've parked the high elite level, in at rep level. If I've got players 7, 8, 9, 10, not really sure they sit in the team because they feel they're at that end of the scale, whatever, you should still get them feedback.
Yep. Because
you don't want to make them feel I'm just a 9, 10, or 8, whatever. Some kids give themselves a number.
Yep.
So this is why here we had a kid in under 14s, bottom age. I said, look, to the parent, I sat him down. He's probably not going to get a lot of court time, but he's going to get the experience of a lifetime. I called it. We go with the state championship. Don't ever do that, because if I had failed that, I would have been an idiot. And I said, we'll go nationals.
Mm-hmm.
This is my second year as a rep coach.
Yeah.
I had local talent. I didn't do what everyone else does and buys people in. I had the local talent, right? So, but I said to him, but you're going to get the experience of a lifetime. And I explained to him. There was one time, I was in a semi-prelim, so it's a semi-final, they call it. I get a little confused on how they... I got caught up. I normally know exactly who's doing what, tracking players. Because it's such a tight game, he didn't get the opportunity to go on. No personal intent. Some coaches think they don't have to explain what's finals. It is what it is. What do you think I did?
No, you would have given him the...
So I knew he was upset, so I spoke to him. Then the parent rang me next day, which I think was right, so not in a bad way.
Yeah.
He goes, look, we're going to go nationals. Is this going to say anything? I said, that to be fair. No purpose. Went and put him on. Got caught in something, and then the rotations were out of whack. That was it.
Yeah.
Next week, he played in the prelim. He played in the grand final. So it wasn't personal intent, but what the good thing was, the parent had a comfortable situation the way the person rang me, not going demanding.
No, you have a good
open, expressive conversation.
Good.
I gave a right to reply, and I had the right to reply.
Yep.
And what an amazing conversation. They come to nationals. We had a great fun, and we still talk about those memories that will forever be everlasting.
Gotcha.
But I communicated it.
Yep.
But all I could have done was what some coaches will do. I have to explain that.
Gotcha.
Know your role. You play, you don't. Be lucky you're part of the team. No? So it's good to express.
Yep.
Explain.
Gotcha.
Point 2.
My last one. I'm going high level here.
Please not going to get sued by the NBA or something now, are we?
NBL, maybe.
Oh, here we go. NBL, let's go.
There's 2 teams in Melbourne, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
One team. I don't know if we've rushed this through or given it great thought. There shouldn't be 2 teams in Melbourne. I've watched the Melbourne Phoenix games the last couple of times, whether it be on a weekend game, weeknight game. They can't get people there. Now, when the NBL did their NBL Cup, you had all the teams in Melbourne. There were some people still getting to it. I think the novelty wore off, maybe. There's not people going on these games anymore. Now, if you're saying that this team is the heartland of Melbourne, that's what you market it as. You can't get people who are following to the game. Where does it leave this club? And I'll go one step further. Is this team even watchable?
Okay, no.
So they've won 3 of their last 9. And the way I watch it, and I'm not going to be an expert coach, I'm not an NBL level coach, but I watch that team and I just wonder if they're worth watching if you're a supporter right now.
So let me help you on the question.
Yep.
So I think it's a question. The NBL, I don't think have done it wrong by putting a second side in. because the population of we're the strongest state in Australia.
Apparently.
We have the highest participation rate.
Yeah.
So the population of interest is definitely there. It tells you that we have the numbers.
Yeah.
Right. Secondly, is an organisation presenting themselves and engaging with the community the way they should be. I don't know if they are. So I'm not.
Well, that's probably the missing link. I don't know.
So it comes down to the club now. I don't think the NBL, because 2 teams should survive and a country team. I think that's just me, right? Because the population says the population participation rate.
Why doesn't
the interest? Well, it comes down to. Do you listen to press conferences?
Yep.
Okay. I'm turned off already by one team. I'm one team to discuss. His press conferences. It's just arrogant. Brush things aside, and then the style of play. It's okay when they're winning, but when they're losing, they're losing.
When you go 3 of 9.
Yeah, but you're actually
3 of your last 9.
The way you're getting beaten, right? And then the way you respond to that is what disappoints. So if I was a fan with a new franchise, I'd be disappointed. So why would I spend the money? Knowing too, though, that we're just coming out of financial strain.
Yep.
You're going to make them want to go there. So it doesn't matter winning or losing either. It's the competing. It's the way you commit. It's the way you connect. The way you engage. The way you inspire. You know, if you lost your games by 1 point every game, you didn't win a game, you're in the fight.
Yep.
You give me something to want to come and be a part of. But the way I see the style of coaching and the players, and I'll use the word part arrogance.
Just not engaging.
It tells me now, Melbourne United, I'll give them a bit of credit. They have had a lot of injuries, but found ways to play a style of play, which gives anyone to step up.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of certain teams, but I'm just giving an example, right? And the heart and soul. So Phoenix last night were playing to hold a top 4 spot.
Yeah.
Well, if that's them fighting for it, and the kids are seeing that, why would I pay for that?
Correct.
So I don't agree if anyone says it, not saying right or wrong.
Yeah.
2 teams should survive.
Well, based on what I've seen this year, they won't. And they don't deserve to.
Well, maybe it just needs to change leadership and a bit of change of personnel.
Yeah, I raise a good point.
And I wonder how much, and obviously it's no excuse, there was like controversy in that team over a certain person, right or wrong, guilty or not. Don't know what should or shouldn't be done. I'm not going to say, sit him down and I think you're guilty. You're not guilty until proven guilty. I don't think you need to prove your innocence unless you are guilty. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say what I'll go about that. But there was a lot of but that's not enough to excuse that. But I wonder if it turned people off.
Possibly.
The fact that should the club support him, should not support it.
That's a small. Sorry, I shouldn't say.
It's a glitch.
It could be a small part in what I think is a problem in the bigger picture.
The problem was already there last year, or the year before, and I just think I feel the same about Brisbane. Them and Brisbane are the same.
Wow,
that's how I feel, because Brisbane's always been that middle road. They win games, lose games, but how they lose, I just think they're same. There's similarities there. It tells me it's very similar. That's how I see it.
Yeah. It's an interesting competition. I've paid more attention to it this year, probably because, we've had DJ in the league, and unfortunately DJ can't continue this year, and we're shattered about that for him. And even from my own perspective, seeing Josh Giddey play, but I think there's a lot of issues across this league. We can vaunt that this league is great, but if you look at it right now, it's a 2-horse race. And forget about the rest. And it's been at that same 2-horse race for quite a while now. Sure. And there's a reason why that's the case.
Yep.
That's all I'll leave it as.
Done deal. Wow. Yep. We are going to get lawyers after lawyers. No, Jay.
Probably sued.
We're allowed. You know what? You're allowed to have a view. Don't know if it's right or wrong.
Look, if you have a differing opinion, please let us know. I've got no issues with what I've just said, but if you have a different view, please. I'm happy to hear it.
And the thing about views too, we're not here to argue it. We're just here to listen to it. There's no pushing it right or wrong.
Yeah,
a view's a view. There you go. How you feel? Good chat.
I'll just come off the long run up a little bit.
So we're going to stop at 40 minutes. Now it's 54 minutes. So that's crazy.
Sorry, guys.
All right, guys. Episode 26 done and dusted.
Look after yourselves.
We also maintain, we know it's tough. And I could use all these words. Sometimes I just feel like words now. It's tough. If it is, reach out to something or reach out to someone.
Correct.
Or an organisation or, but like I said, I think I said last time, you've also got to appreciate that if someone's prepared to give you their time, make sure you're giving time back. That's all I'm saying.
Just give a little bit of a love back.
I just know that, you know, like sometimes, you know, some people feel like, I'm always there for them. I'm always there for them. But no, I don't think I remember last time they rang me and said, hi, how are you? You get my point?
Mm.
When they know you're, you know, there's examples where people can say, oh, they're not there for me anymore. Or some, maybe someone say, you know what? All it takes is someone to say, hi, how are you back? And you'll give more. But when you feel as if, you know, you're always there, and I was hang on, the last few times we've caught up, not once they said, how are you? How's your kids? How's things going? You got to realize, well, sometimes that becomes a reason why people may not be there when you think they should be there. Is that right? Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense.
Because we're all in an emotional state with certain things, some high, some low, it doesn't matter. We all need each other, is what I'm getting at. We all need that bit of a, hey, I know I've been there for you, Az, for example, but if you put your hand on my shoulder and say, but Daz, hey, thanks for your help, but are you okay as well?
Yeah.
That's all I might need. Not me personally, but that's all I might need. The acknowledgement that you're getting, the fact that I'm here for you, well, I'm also battling my own battles.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
So you'll get all of me every single time. Mm-hmm. But when I feel that not once you've actually thought, he's struggling. He's got so many issues, not me personally, but yet all you've been so consumed by is your own. Is that wrong, what I just said then?
No, you're right. There's a bit of that going around right now.
Right, anyway, what I'm saying is I'm there for you. Just reach out. Just say, Dad, you okay? And I'm fine. I'll be there for you. I love you. Because sometimes I ain't okay.
Yeah, well, that's it.
It's tough.
Mm.
Right, love yous. We're out.
Guys.
Done, Dustin. See you guys.
Bye.